Hey, in this video, I want to talk about the second and third question in your discovery groups. The second question is, do you have any updates from the last meeting? Any action steps taken or people you encouraged? As we have a study, we want to have some follow up on what did we do with what we learned last time. Was there any follow through on what we talked about? We think this is an important and helpful step. It's not meant to be something that we beat people over the head with, and hey, come on, get it together. But at the same time, we do want to spur one another on. And if we spent time in God's Word and saw things that we need to grow and change in, then we do want to ask those questions. So there's a balance here. We don't want to be a legalist lording it over people, but we want to pursue Jesus enthusiastically. And that means talking about some of those things. Hey, you said you were going to do this. How did it go? So we do want to bring it up. We want to talk through it. It can sometimes be awkward bringing this up in group. And so sometimes you may just want to talk about the awkwardness in the group and just say, hey, what do you guys think about this? Do you want to keep following up? What are some of the hesitations that we might have with that? It does get a little intrusive. And it may take you as a leader saying, hey, I want to grow. I want to make sure that I'm following through, that I'm stepping out in faith on the things that I feel God calling me to do and the things that I feel God speaking to me. So I would appreciate it if you guys ask me, do you want me to ask you, or do you just need a little bit more space? People need more space. That's fine. Let them have that and trust that they may come around to being more eager and receptive at some point. So again, we want to meet people where they're at. I've had some people in groups say, hey, right now, just me getting here and doing a Bible study, that's a big step. And you want to recognize that, celebrate it. So it may be, hey, well, let's come back to this later. Tell people when you go into a gym, if you haven't worked out in 10 years, don't go in and try and bench press 500 pounds. It's not a good idea. You want to take steps to get there. If you have a more mature group, then you may say, hey, guys, we're mature. Let's try and encourage each other and follow up with each other and make sure we're doing the things that we think we should be doing. There's a layer of accountability in this. Yes, we want to take it seriously, but there's also a means of celebrating. That's really the goal. Man, I've had it a number of times where people read something in the Bible and thought, I need to share this with my wife. And relationships that had grown cold begin to be softened because they're sharing what God is doing and how He's working in their life. And so it's really neat to hear where people will say, hey, I was feeling depressed last week, but this word encouraged me. So you know what, my coworker was feeling depressed, and so I was able to share with them the verse that encouraged me. That's fantastic. That's incredible. We want to hear that. If you don't ask the question, you may never know what happened. And so we want to, it's part of living in community. It's part of knowing what's going on with each other. It's part of just being aware of how people are, what's going on in life and how God is working in them. So we hope it's more of a celebration than just accountability, but we do need a little accountability. We do need a little encouragement. And so that's why that question is there. Also, just briefly want to talk about the third question here. Do you or does someone you know have a need that this group could meet? This question is meant to get our eyes off of ourselves and onto other people. We can too easily focus on ourselves, our own needs, and in society today, we are such a me-centered society, and to begin to focus on other people, to begin to see people around us, that's what this question is intended to do. Now, a lot of times, I'll admit, in our group, we don't always have something for this. People aren't often aware of needs, but we still try and ask it just as a reminder that, hey, we're here. We want to be a blessing to others. How can we get our eyes onto the needs of other people? And sometimes what you see here, it flows over into what you can share with others. So you may ask the question, did you see any needs that you could meet, or just anything going on in life where you saw something in somebody that concerned you, anybody that might need help? And that can flow over into later parts of this. But again, one of the main points of this is just trying to cultivate an attitude that we want to be servants. We want to be going through life, not just focused on ourselves, but thinking about others and how we might be a blessing to them.